Hey y'all, we're about to learn the preterite tense in Spanish. I can just feel your excitement from your homes where you're watching this. But el pretérito, so that's what I'm going to call it, the preterite in English, pretérito en español. It's one of the past tenses in Spanish. And when I say one of them, we have a few past tense we're going to learn this semester, and this is going to be the first one. Well, right now we only have one way to use the past tense, and if y'all remember, that's acabar de plus infinitive, to just have done something. So it's talking about the past. Well, now we're going to learn the actual past tense, like I walked to school, I jumped in the car, I went home. So we're going to learn the preterite today. It's going to be fun. So the first thing we need to do is we need to learn the AR endings. So just like in present tense, the preterite gets its own set of endings. So whenever we see these, we know automatically it's talking about the past tense because it's using one of the past tense endings. So let's look at the ARs. So the yo form is going to be e. Okay, notice it's an E with an accent. So it's not our normal O like we've always had, so this is the past tense. Okay, whenever we have an accent, that means we've got to stress that syllable. So whenever we say it, we've got to say like really loud. So hablé, meaning I talked. And then we have haste for the to form. And then for the él, ella, usted form, we have o. Okay, make sure you have the accent, because if you leave the accent off, it's going to go back to present tense, first person. We don't want to say that. Then we have amos. It's exactly the same. Astes. And then aron. So these are our regular AR preterite endings. So notice we only have two accents on the E and the O. Okay, moving on to our ER, IR endings. These are really similar to the AR. They all start with I. Okay, so don't forget that. Every single one of them starts with an I. So for the yo form, we have E. So E, it has an accent on it, so that means whenever we say the yo form in the preterite, we're going to have to put stress on this I, like BB, BB. Then we have iste, and then io, so accent on the O as well. Imos, istes, and ieron. Notice the ER and the IR have the same endings. They share. It's just precious. They're so friendly, and they share all the same endings. So those are our AR and ER endings for the preterite. Now we're getting to our conjugation rules, and if you notice, they're exactly the same as they were for the present tense. So step one has always been the same. We're going to take off our endings. So we are going to take off the AR, the ER, or the IR, and then we're going to add the ending that matches the subject. And we've got our new set of endings, and so we're just going to pick one of those. So if we want to talk about the yo, it's going to be e or e, depending on what kind of verb you have. Now, let's go ahead and conjugate our first verb in the preterite. So excited. Okay, and it's going to be hablar. It's our go-to AR verb. Okay, so the first step we're going to do, like always, is we're going to take off the AR. Okay, and we're left with habla. And we're going to go ahead and fill our habla in all the blanks. Okay, so we took off the ending. This is step one. Now for step two, we're going to add the ending that matches the subject, but we're going to use our preterite endings. So let's look. We have hablé. This means I talked. Okay, hablaste means you talked. Habló means he or she talked. Hablamos, we talked. Habláis, y'all talked. And hablaron, they talked. So notice here, can y'all hear the difference between habló, meaning I talk, and habló? So you got to really emphasize the O at the end to make sure that everyone knows you're talking, that it's a he or she, and they did something in the past. So let's conjugate another verb. Let's do the verb vivir. Vivir means to live, just in case y'all forgot. So I've already done step one. We've taken off the IR, and we're left with beeb. So we put beeb in all of our blanks, so step one. Now we're going to go and add the ending that matches the subject. So to say I lived, it's going to be BB. So BB. So we really have to stress that E sound at the end. Then you lived would be viviste. He or she lived would be vivió. We lived, vivimos. Y'all lived, vivisteis. And they lived, vivieron. So make sure you really put stress on those two words. And it's kind of fun to say, so bibio. So that's the preterite tense, the regular forms, okay? It's not going to be this easy the whole time, so make sure you get these endings down first, because when we learn all the spelling changes and the irregulars, it's going to give you a headache. So go ahead and put these to memory, and we'll practice tomorrow in class. See y'all then!